I need to say something else about today, just a little bit. Just a little bit. During this whole, something that I didn't say were still praying CRUDO CARNIVAL CABRERA, saying that I send and command to making altars and to making witchcraft upon my name and my person, for I do making the supposed remaining God, telling that I profane them and I profane others. And there are a lot of victims, like I said. Most are all abducted, pleased for, and not like they think that they are going to be saved after. And the responsibles are crap. So suddenly, there happens this reality. I do not command to make nothing like that. I never did, and I won't ever do. And the ways of the manipulations are so extremely disgusting. So we find out that there's not a witch and angels tell us. It's not about let's make in the PFA-PNA-PSA-GN-SIDE-METROPOLITANA-EA-AA. The problem is worse. It happened like for longest ever times, since 1976. This class and the legacies of this, and this with them still now, were supporting Ejército Argentino, telling one of them witches had a prophecy and telling that I will be someone that will destroy this country, this land, and bringing all kind of disasters over the world. But the real prophecy of this Pax Sodoma, the generates of hell, were exactly like I were coming to destroy them and put them dead. And they knew who I were, since they saw me in the Ciudad Evita, which is La Matanza County, province of Buenos Aires. We call here Partido de la Matanza, where I used to living at the house of my grandmother, Farrishiaka, Avelina Costa de Blanco. Sorry. In the middle of the reality that at the 1973, little further, that the husband of my mother dies, at the condition of his problem, which were aneurysm, but the reality of this, I give you for you to understand, I am not son of no adultery, and never happened such a thing in https www verdades nunca dichas, verdades nunca expuestas. .int F7, just like before, last key and cleaner my site, last BLYTT ICC New York. And in this all, just comes the reality that from their own, with the excuse for the witches told this box of hell, this Sodoma that generates since then, in that house is something weird that we don't like, and we came and watching, and there are Jews all around trying to reach out them. And we were hunting them and killing them all, and we gotta do something. And I were fight. So suddenly, comes SIDE degenerados with degenerados Sodoma, Ejército Argentino, inside the place I were living, with my sister, my mother, my sisters, my mother, and were there my grandmother, Avelina Costa de Blanco, the owner of the house. And in the middle of this all, this disgusting shit says, oh, of course, there is the trauma, there is the psychopathy. Go to hell, you sick excrement of Babylon and Sodoma. So suddenly the reality of this happened like this hell bugs and the generates started making the Japan intelligence, seeking for the how we're subversive. Went to seek one uncle, Gonzalo Blanco, which died years before for cancer, and they knew it. So suddenly, the reality of the soul comes at the point that since then happened the point which this sick shit, sorry the word, went exactly for there was something they needed to know. Not to seeking Gonzalo Blanco, which passed away, and really passed away for long ago, that they knew. HTTPS www. Blair Witch Project Argentina, Ejército Argentina at service of the world's legacies of Advan. And .int, and Advan is written AWDUVHNZ and F5, like before, recall, systems recall. Then, at the point of this, NYNPH'S that degenerate Sida and the which degenerate Almito, called here DNI 9,814,404, still alive, the degenerate Ejército Argentino Sodoma, General Almito, Javier Almito, degenerado, in the middle of this all, happened that says, that is the one, we have it. We start to make in the whole Besmot Harech Harlevedi Keshkaridi right now. You have it all in the link, in the recall link. Well, at the point of this, NYNPH'S Mothari and Fedesh Monach Halchidi Gathavat, Onse Hemolactica Vesmont Elechatrim. And whenever started to making the plan and started making the Pilbu Reshna, taking woman and one man to making massive rape, destruction, and crucifying at Lepovach Potov, raping up on the cross for the making the Bechmathele Yeshmadi foundations of the Lechnim, and murdering and stunning the rest of the whatever alive will be around, and burning the body and burying it, saying that that is the way, which the whole this disgusting shit, so the world knows, and all the world was making as well with this. Started the pacts upon the name of Hashem and upon me. But I am so delirious, so whack. There is the trauma. I'm gonna show you the trauma, you piece of a scum. HTTPS www. Negocios psiquiátricos, negocios forenses, negocios Poder Judicial de la Nación Argentina, negocios de la Magistratura Nacional y toda su maldita lacra asociada. .int F12, the whole complete, like before, systems recall. And in the middle of this all, this is exactly what we got. Started making the generations, and at 1976 called three, which were the superheroes of Europe then, one in Swiss, the others in France, saying that they were the super Christians exorcising people and making the super casting off demons and super revelators and super we are the powered. So suddenly called them, and this disgusting one started making trade with Sodoma Ejército Argentino. And what happened? Oh, let us see, we are going to pray a little bit and Lord is gonna show us. And what they says Lord shown them is that I will be such a class of a super demon, bringing a whole which were exactly al mito degenerado with whole witches, making the destructions upon my life. But suddenly this tricky trade shit, because of there's no other thing that can be told, set up a legacy over this lie, knowing, recognizing it were a lie, and they said, we are going to use this for the bringing the revival to Argentina, and we are going to be heroes. God damn them forever. And victims of them, ADONAI shall rescue. And from this, the legacy of this crap that we suffer here, which came since then, the reality of this abomination that not only I suffer. So suddenly, when kometrem efechila, was sefishometrem, geventrim efeti, of ochole tefishmot echalki mofele ben chatinim. In feshmot bel chatimin echidevedek, aspedat. Esmot alecha tinan somener. Cease the lie and tells it's true. Gets the bechomatri and tells karabi. And the problem is the responsibles understands and lives it that way because of they says I'm not gonna lose. So suddenly when Chometrevidev said, get out, don't you do, and kept. So suddenly Adonai said, You shall not touch this one. You shall not put upon. You shall not invade the privacy and the reality. You shall not touch. You shall not play the hero. You shall not make nothing. You shall not put. You shall not take away. You shall not play the prophet. You shall not pray above. You shall not making nothing. Just ask Adonai to making his way. The war of this one is Hashem's and not yours. And you are not going to fight the war of God himself. He knows what to do, and I shall carry his condition and his reality, my own, said Adonai. 11 years, day after another, day and night after another, hell, abominable crap, making the sin permanently. It cannot be because of Lord's soulness and death. What were, like I said before. Then, telling that I am the one that produced this all and I am the responsible, and I tricked and traded, and not only traded and cheated and manipulated the world, but saying that this is my corporation, that I created this my own. And Adonai said, don't you dare, because of you shall bring disaster. And ruined my life and ruined everybody else's, playing the heroes and the Bachade Hamatani, which still insists and dares to saying, you shall be what I say because of Lord put at me. And the devil says the same. It's exactly that. And profane degenerates first. Tellers of Sodoma. So suddenly, where is this one? Does any institution, any law that recognizes it? Does it has any charge or any reason, like governmentally a law on the any nation will ever recognize? United Nations recognize me, Israel recognize me, and you deny and say, let's pray and let's destroy them because of our supporting the beast. Piece of a crap. And your supposed government put it by God or put it by the devil itself, and you are as well. PREIN, CRUDO, CARNIVAL, CABRERA, put it by demons. And you pretend to call me what you are. Tricky shit. So suddenly, the point of this soul, I am not going to lose. I'm going to take my chances, just like the before ones. We know who this is, and we are not going to tolerate this. I'm not going to lose what I got. And I'm going to put me up in the world, and I shall bring that revival, and I shall be the hero. PREIN, CRUDO, CARNIVAL, CABRERA, ANACONDIA, and ASOCIATED. Oh, you are, because of make it for we to see what they need, so we use them and we go up on the Vechmetechani. Let's make it a word. Make it be like this says. And let's supporting and helping the government to put in what we say, gotta be because of Lord is going to endorse us because of we are authority. HTTPS www. Los secretos de la maldita ramera del DAV-NOMAD. .INTF9. Systems recalled. DAV-NOMAD is written DHUIA UV middle N O N UV H M middle A T Z B UV. Right? Gefot mefercha dishmotla di bencha di kentla bedash monachim. Otleti mefecha dishmotachal ata menachat tibot fenem. And in the middle of the soul, vechamat febilevesh gafelachat sahenim. So whenever they says, they has the power to curse and to bless, and they are going to say who retains and who saves. There is not given by Adonai. That were profane Christito. And Yeshua said, you shall pay for what you've done. You destroyed my servant, and you destroyed what I were making, and you gave in my people that I were to saving, and I were saving, and I saved. For the destruction of them, you shall make a trade on my name, and you are going to pay for that. Pieces of scum of hell, my enemy, says Yeshua Meshiach. Shara. And there's to saying that I am profaning to God and saying things of God that God never gave me. And they says that they are endorsed by God because of they says that they got a social reasoning government and they are authority and has charges and recognized by the testimony of the power and the name of the Lord, but people. Any devil says the same, and any devil it makes exactly. So suddenly, the reality of this, what is? Perhaps I am doing some kind of a manipulation and saying I am destroying witches' gods for I to make him empire, which they says I do. Perhaps I'm doing a Perhaps I'm while Sodoma founded a machinery for making this degeneration, saying, let's everybody, sorry, but it's exactly, rape. Because if they don't have sex, they rapes. That's what they says, which is the F word. Understand? So in the middle of this, we don't rape, we just get it. Disgusting abomination, atrophiated sekahi. And the middle of the reality of the soul delivers into Fechmotchem eleve sefeshan chalchanimeta sevitroch mi sefechot leventaniskibet. Esmefelecha. So wet lebeto akab machumosh ofelumut akachibo anata kedat. What is this coming? Who is recognized about whom and how? Where is the truth? And how is this needs to destroy me with the argument to being the best, to remaining and they do not lose. And in the middle of this, shall I do what they says? And they needed to murder the worldwide for they to say, I am who I am. Understand what I say? I am the one brought by God, but suddenly Adonai made his job with me and with the people about me. But saying, I am the one I am, pretending I to be what they are, for they to become in me. Understand what I say? HTTPS www. Degenerados conscientes, verdad enfermiza, degeneración abominable, Argentina, de PREIN y Ejército Argentino, y Néstor Cristina Kirchner, point NYNPH'S, like before, systems for God. So, at the point of this, what I was saying, we have to be careful, because if there is not a tale of witches, and there is not like you are going to go obsessed and closed in the same situation, struggled in, I'm going to improve, I'm not going to let them manipulate me, I'm not going to let them do. Suddenly we have a life, and there are this disgusting abominables all around saying who to hunting, saying, oh, you schizophrenic, come in. And other, oh, because of what's them? Of the heady mechadeski vatlani, let's have a hidi. And fechmotrem 11 sefeshochachanim. We are not living on this class of a life. The reality is a moment of prayer. You destroy, you clear the shachti, you clear your life, you clear the way. You establish your point with Adonai and you be careful. And whenever you go around in life, you just be careful at the reality and conscience about how this all is, and try to be strong enough in the conceiving the reality and the truth for you to understand you are not gonna in nowhere, you don't have to, and you're not gonna out from where you belong. So the reality of this, we gotta be careful for the let's be mercy them, don't you see? Oh my God. So suddenly you have a pleficho matreveli v'sesh monachim. Of the bekim of levetz gavashvi, the fechati kamele fenchadi shmotali benchadi bekleti bantevedi shmoti benchadi lechali motarinim. Ishukubake lekimota rechadi bonfele nishechadati obat ad leviti komene veshachali mentcheni bat levete chashidat lemene v'pekim. Stamp, in the name of Christ, blah 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 blah. What Adonai didn't say to thee, what Adonai didn't command that, and you putting up on the people in Fotlametrina, Shkatlametcha, Shelchimetri, Daswolcha, Metlekimotabelehatli, Gesmetelechitamatli. I have it. We took it up. Befontremedechili, Basmatselechan, Besfotanimene. What do I feel? What do I think? Is this real? Methele gablechama spot atikhem belkechno othobletim shmelech nathan gabele tikamechem levet hameni fet mosku oblechat lo. فتغمت في الشخ لميت قد لخ بطفنم إشكو بالخاتم أخنا بلته سشوفا خاتمته أنخلين. Then that is not about you to feel and you to think at the way of Fantlemenachtin. That is about get the reality first. Get the clear first. And that is not for the BLYTT of Enchadish Motar, because of the pastor told me, and the pastor moved the power, and the power came because of the Regesh is not the Ruach Elohim, and the Ruach Elohim gives the reality, and the Regesh makes only Bentrom of Echat Manav, and about being used like whenever Adonai said, you shall not use the holy for filthy, and you shall not touch the holy, bofelech for abomination and filthy, and you shall not infech Matav. It is not the way of the Tremet and Chalchenish Mediachim. Adonai said, no. Adonai said, no. Adonai said, vicious sensuals. Of powery, I feel powery, I cut, and I feel the star of the world, and I have the power. Adonai said, no. The reality is, Ruach Elohim, God is with me. I need to know the truth, and if you have of every destruction, of every damage, you understand what you shall not do and what you shall do about. Whenever you are in a condition that you are like flying in a ghost and you feel weird and there's like everything to be okay, but there's nothing okay, you do not hear that, and you lock the doors and understand God's praying, and be careful about what happens around. Ain't nothing right. We are living in a very chaos and a very problem, and this is a very destruction we are suffering all around. So suddenly, the ways of the manipulation and the damages are disgusting in so much aspects, and we shall be careful not friends like getting a fotlemetri vesachi desperated and I gotta do, and every day and every moment do not. No. Easy, wise and clear. You gotta go to work, you go to work. You gotta keep your life, you keep your life, but be clear about what you do. And be clear as best you can, and take a moment just to pray and asking Hashem to be about. Not obsessed, not in the fear, not in the panic, to deliver you into a state that there is not exactly what we need. We suffer for the reason of the world, but Adonai will do the job like He swore, and He did swear, and He done, and will be making. Verklomet remefechi de spot lemetzachi de spot lemeneshki dacha apanim. Ishmot leni menechi chad. Othelekian merech. Shmeti belchani shemonachet. We are in a chaos and we are surrounded. Well, not surrounded. In the middle, let's say, of much abominablestes and much disgusting hellbugs, which pretends I to be that they are. We to be what they are forever. Shalom. And in the middle of the soul, so suddenly, spiritual is not for playing. And the and yes, it's true. The problems I got, the situation I got, and cannot get out, and cannot live, and cannot making nothing better, and cannot produce a different state of non-life, and suffering permanently extortions and whole destruction, whole damages, is for the reason of PREIN, CARNIVAL, CRUDO, CABRERA, ANACONDIA, and them associated, were permanently the same. And since ADONAI started making, since they started to producing the plan of grand whore and destroying my life and anybody else's permanently with non-stopping until today and for words every day until they die and go to hell. Shalom. So the reality is this, after 11 years of destroying me and saying all kind of degenerations and trying to help and helping Sodoma and the sickle crop Kirchners to the making what they've done to me and to us all and producing the genocide and the abomination they've done, saying because of touched the anointing, powery of Sodoma. Adonai doesn't need nothing like you, and Adonai doesn't recognize nothing like you. Your institution is a hell brothel, and you don't have nothing of God, and God ain't nothing on you. And Adonai will show at the right moment what it is and what you've done to me, like I said, 800 times, and the one you've done upon your heads, the whole debt cost on the reality, royalty of Yahweh, Yeshua, RUACH ELOHIM, that I am. And Yelbachtos, Moshe, Shalah. HTTPS www. The whole Adonai said, since the beginning we started, the whole Adonai Kevin since the beginning of this all. The whole, each enemy were organizing and producing, and the whole of misappropriating corruption and destruction for the genocide, for the favor of the beast, Sodoma and Grand Whore. Point INT, F9, just like before, systems for gold. Here it is, Alejandro Mariblanco Radami, and here you'll see the still now teller saying, we said first and we made the need say. You will have it all. Still in July 1st, 11:42 now, and this second video is of the day, and I hope we can do something better than what this lousy abomination pretends we to be. And we will, because of Adonai is with us forever. Shalah.